the CES wrap-up, Panasonic shows off their tech making headlines and the future of their green impact.
Then I'll bring you along as I tour the Intel suite and check out what their most efficient chip ever can do.
And Moderna stops by the anchor desk to give us the future of patient care.
Plus, we'll talk to CTA's futurist about the latest tech trends as well as the future of AI in everything.
All that and much more. Welcome to the CES wrap-up.
Welcome to the world's most powerful tech event. I'm Justine Zarek.
And I'm Brian Tong, and this is day one of CES 2024.
For the next 3 days, we're going to be bringing you the latest from CES, from the biggest names in tech to the startups making a name for themselves right here at the show.
Now we're coming to you from the Grand Lobby inside the Las Vegas Convention Center. You see the hustle and the bustle of the convention. That'll serve as the backdrop to some incredible conversations throughout CES.
That's right, we're going to be catching up with companies like Qualcomm, LG, Nvidia, Volvo Penta, and so many more as they unveil the tech that everyone is talking about.
Now we're also going to be covering some serious ground this week as we tour booths for brands like Brunswick and Panasonic, Caterpillar and Google, just to name a few. Should I start tracking my steps right now?
I mean, I am, so...
You already are?
Yep, it's a competition.
Okay, I'm way behind.
So whether you're here in person or joining us digitally from around the world, this show will aim to give you the ultimate CES experience.
And remember, you can come check out the show live on this channel each day at 4 p.m. Pacific, or you can catch it with everything on demand here on the CES website.
And as always, make sure to follow CES on all of the social platforms for the latest updates. CES is, as you can see, already in full swing with our first round of press conferences and keynotes from brands like Samsung, LG, Volkswagen, L'Oreal, Intel, Bosch, Panasonic, and Siemens, just to name a few. There are so many more. But Brian, what has been the headline that you've seen so far that you're like, that's awesome?
I'm pretty excited to see the transparent TVs in person. We've been bouncing around the show floor doing things, so I don't know how I'm going to use this. They look incredible. It's cool tech. I don't know.
You'll figure it out, but the wildest thing is you can't actually see it because it's transparent.
It's transparent. Thank you for letting me know that.
Anyway, let's get this CES wrap-up party started because we have so much more in store.
Just ahead, Deloitte joins us to give us their view of the future across industries and the engineering innovations making it all possible.
And later, we're going to catch up with our resident futurist to get his take on the tech trends that everyone is talking about.
But first, let's kick things off with a brand considered a mainstay here at CES. I was lucky enough to tour their booth and get a glimpse at what's to come, so check this out. Welcome everybody to the future. Yes, that's right. We're here in the Panasonic booth, and we're here to learn about Panasonic's commitment to create today, enrich tomorrow. That's really catchy. And here with me is the Director of Marketing and Experience, Michelle Esker. Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you, Brian. I'm really glad you came by today.
Always. You know, CES is huge. There's so many big booths. This is one of the flagship booths here in the Central Hall. So, you know, we'd love to kind of hear about Panasonic because, yes, we're here for technology, but also the green impact and how you guys are aligning with that. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it's really the core of our mission as a brand is all around sustainable energy, circular economy, resource optimization. Everything that you're going to see here has that lens of sustainability in mind, and it's really all about how we are enriching people's lives for tomorrow. And then we're going to talk a lot about some of our activations today in our consumer products, which is everything to do with holistic well-being. So I thought we could start out. We actually have a special guest in our booth today.
A guest?
We do.
Okay.
So Lenny is a lovable blob in social media, and he is all about well-being and just feeling good about yourself. And we thought it would be really cool to actually bring him here to CES and let people interact with him live. So hopefully we can wake him up. He seems like he's sleeping really comfortably.
Is that who's snoring in the background?
That would be Lenny. Okay. Lenny, are you awake? See, yeah. All right, he's waking up.
Whoa. Lenny!
There he is. Hi, Lenny. Can you just tell me about something you've learned about Panasonic that inspires you?
I love that Panasonic has a recycling program where you can send in your small electronics, like electric shavers and toothbrushes, and they'll pay for the shipping and the recycling and send you a coupon for a brand new multi-shape, which has different attachments that all click into one rechargeable base. So your beard trimmer, hair clipper, shaver, toothbrush, facial brush, even your nose hair trimmer, all only use one base, which is a lot less plastic and power than having all those individual devices. Ooh, 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 we love recycling.
Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you, Lenny.
So obviously there's a lot of stuff happening here, a lot of different booths and features. Can you talk about maybe how they align with some of the themes here that Panasonic is showcasing?
Absolutely. So we actually have different areas of the booth around all the different types of well-being that we work on. So in other words, feeling well and connecting well and eating well. So we kind of swing in this way. This is our kitchen area. All about eating well. And so at the booth every day during lunch, we'll actually be cooking live in our
there's
multi-ovens.
food demos here.
Absolutely. It's going to smell.
Come back here.
It will smell delicious and garlicky all week using the Magic Pot.
Okay.
And then as we move through the booth,
okay, we're gonna slide through here.
We're gonna slide through.
Okay.
Into personal care and feeling well, which is all about being your most confident self. Obviously, all of these products have sustainability in mind. There's the multi-shape that Lenny had talked about, one rechargeable base, multiple attachments. We announced new attachments this year. And then I wanted to show you one of the highlights for this year at the booth, our palm shaver. So this is a micro hand size shaver, fits in your palm, still has all the technology of our other shavers.
Oh.
And it's made from Nagori, which is a very special material, recycled material made from sea minerals. And then I thought, as an experience, maybe we could check out our Nano E booth.
Okay, this is an experience.
It's an experience.
Okay, I see a chair, so I'm assuming.
You see a chair, you're definitely gonna have to sit.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Nano
be gentle.
E,
be gentle. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you about it while you experience it.
Okay.
We're not gonna ruin up the
the
view
quaff.
up there. Yeah.
I do feel air.
You do feel hair.
Sliding down my head right now.
What's magical about Nano E is that it actually takes moisture from the air. And then it infuses it into these tiny particles that can actually get into your hair shafts. And so reduces frizz, increases moisture, and really helps with the health of your hair. So you're going to be feeling really, really shiny and healthy in a non-product oriented way.
I don't use product in my hair at all,
Ever.
for the record.
No, I know you wake up like this.
Obviously. Okay. So this is
Feels
infusing, like, it'll just keeping my hair a little
Moisture
fresh.
is actually, yeah, exactly. It's really, really good for your hair.
Okay.
You should do it on a daily basis.
A daily basis? Okay. All right, sounds good. So do I just pop out here now?
Yeah, you're good.
Come on now.
Good.
I feel fresh. I feel clean. Okay.
All right, so we'll walk through a little bit this way. So we're entering the entertainment area. Obviously, we are still setting up and getting everything ready to go. I think that people will love to come and try SoundSlayer. So that's a wearable neck speaker. Really cool, it's surround sound, and it's like immediately around you. So it's an incredibly satisfying experience. We have one set up for gaming and one set up for more of an ASMR type experience.
Okay. I mean, for gamers, this is like, not having to wear the big chunky headphones.
Yes.
It rests on your neck and, kind of gives you an immersive sound stage,
you
right?
really feel like you're in the game. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've done tests and we've had people blindfolded wearing and playing games, and they can literally figure out what's going on without seeing it. It's very cool. So we're going to head over to Lumix. This is actually one of my favorite activations that we're doing in the booth this year. So Lumix is our camera line. We are renowned for our incredible hybrid performance, so both photo and video.
And I'll tell you, I'm very familiar with this because as a content creator, when I went independent, the first camera that I used, Panasonic Lumix GH5. That when you say workhorse, and the incredible video, everything. So that allowed me to do what I do today and basically be here. So I'm emotionally connected to this product and to what you guys did. So I got to thank you on the tech side as well.
Fantastic. Okay, we can be friends, Brian.
Okay. No, now we're friends, everybody.
Now we're friends. It's official. And you should really check out the S series if you were blown away by the G series. So we're going to take you in, and we're doing both a photo experience and a video experience, but I wanted to try and do video with you.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So what we're showcasing here today is open gate technology. So that basically means we're using the full sensor size, which is fairly unique to Lumix. And then that means when you get your final video and you need to crop it to vertical for social, you're not like losing your arms and stuff, right? You have a lot more to work with. So we're gonna do a little surprise video shoot. We're gonna have you stand in front of the green screen.
I have no idea what's happening, but when I see a green screen, I know
you're gonna light up. You're gonna light up.
Okay.
And then Sean here is gonna help us out.
Okay.
And he'll give you a cue and let you know when to react. And we'll kind of give you a little hint as to what your answer is going to be.
Okay, so it's going to tell me, I guess, what type of content creator
Sean's going to leak it.
believes I am. Okay. Yep. So should I just hop in here?
Get in there.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it, my man. Okay.
All right, so right on the mark there.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna count down from 6, and I'm gonna shout out what you get in this.
Okay, so I'm just supposed to just pose here?
Just pose, move, be
Okay.
contemplating.
Will they think I'm like a dancing influencer?
Hey,
or maybe I'm a food influencer?
Hey, who knows?
Right. Or an animal influencer? Hey, Catman? Okay.
All right, so let's do this. Let's
All
do
right.
6, 5, 4, 3,
2.
2, 1. Travel vlogger.
Travel vlogger? I could see the world. I could go anywhere I want. Yeah, who doesn't want to be a travel vlogger? Who doesn't? They should add that to my resume. All right.
Go.
Okay.
Perfect.
It spoke to my heart and my soul there. This is amazing. Now, you know what? Also, as we go through your booth, you show me these great activations. We talked about your green impact. Another thing here at Panasonic is there's actual features in this booth that align with that. Is that correct?
Yeah, there are. And so we really have a strong commitment. It's not just kind of words on paper when we talk about sustainability. So you'll notice you're not seeing tons of carpet. You're not seeing tons of excess furniture.
No carpet here is deliberate.
Very much so.
Okay.
Everything that you see in the booth is being reused in some other way. So we have curtains that are featured in the booth that are actually made from these incredible natural, alternative, sustainable materials. These were hand dyed by a fully natural in the booth building materials that are created from cellulose fiber. So it's a plastic replacement. And it's incredible kind of a material. We've constructed out of it so we can deconstruct and then sort of modularly build something else.
You know, I noticed it right away because most booths have like these big, thick walls and the drapes are very deliberate. And I didn't think of that, but until you told me, obviously, right, this is a push to be aligned with green materials and everything like that. You know, we got to see a lot of cool stuff in this booth. Can you maybe give us a sneak peek or really where Panasonic is thinking with your products moving into the future?
Yeah, you know, I think that everything that we do is very much mission driven. Panasonic is an extraordinarily human-centric organization. We are thinking about every micro detail of your life and what's going to make life easier and then what's going to make the planet better. So you're going to see more things like the multi-shape, more sustainable packaging, more ways to reuse. Everyone knows that Panasonic products last an incredibly long time. That's all really part of that vision. So I think you're going to keep seeing us head in the same direction.
And more hair coif moistening. Yeah, I like that. Okay, thank you so much for the tour, Michelle.
Ryan.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Us.
All right.
Next up, do you know what a futurist is? Are you curious what big themes to keep your eyes out for here at the show? Well, Brian catches up with CTA's resident futurist to learn more.
The innovations on display here at CES are enough to make anyone passionate about the future. I don't know how you could not come here and absorb all the good stuff, but my next guest takes that a step further. Please welcome CTA's resident futurist, Brian Komisky. That's a big title, Brian.
It is. It's a fun title too, because really what it means is I get to be a nerd all day and really think about what tomorrow looks like. And the beauty of tomorrow is that can mean literally the next day, the next year, the next decade, and really look at how technology is shaping our future and how it'll improve our lives and impact business and beyond.
So you're telling me in that title, you can see the future.
Or at least try to perceive it as best we can and hopefully navigate what tomorrow looks like.
I mean, it is a slightly different take because you have people that cover technology that are covering trends, but would you say you're looking a little further down?
A little bit further, because a lot of this generated from, I work with NASDAQ primarily in my day-to-day job to develop thematic stock indexes with them, which literally looks at technology sectors, sector by sector, and trying to figure out, well, what companies can you invest in? And that requires you understanding what are the startups that are going to eventually maybe go public in the future.
You know, obviously AI is going to be a huge theme, or it has been, and it continues to rise and continue to grow. It's changing the way that we do so many things. So what are some of the trends that we're seeing here in AI that you're tracking?
Yeah, of course. And really, if you think about last year, right? Because sometimes you got to start with yesterday before you get to tomorrow, right? And so when we think about it, generative AI was a big deal last year. Rightfully so, because it was a way for consumers to get tangibility with artificial intelligence. It already makes up the background of Netflix, Amazon, all of your recommendations. But for ChatGPT, you really could, for example, feel the impact of you put in a query, you get a response. So what's going to mean tomorrow at CES when we really are watching the rest of this week, right, is that AI is going to be everywhere. And that's going to start not just with generative AI, but it's a larger ecosystem that ranges from chips all the way to robots. And you're going to see no-code solutions, you're going to see digital twin technology, as well as, again, some of those cutting-edge robotics that really define, I think, and make CES a lot of fun.
You know, you mentioned some of these specific products, but are there any other spaces that you see and how AI is going to affect them, whether it's maybe things like digital health or smart homes? How does that weave into there?
Yeah, of course. Well, AI is really what you would consider in some ways a horizontal technology, where if you think in industries like verticals, like gaming, digital health, or smart home, AI is powerful because as a horizontal tech, it can cut across all of them to boost and improve their performance. So let's start with digital health. You're going to see a lot of innovation in this space, including there's a company out of the Netherlands called HealthPlus.ai that's going to take AI to analyze your electronic healthcare records. So if you unfortunately have to go in for surgery, I hope you don't, it can look at your records and identify your risk of infection after surgery to reduce that time of detection and possibly make sure that you have a smoother surgery or save your life. So really improving day-to-day lives. On the smart home side, well, we've been talking about how your home is getting more intelligent, whether it be your displays, whether it be your robots on the countertop, or even some of your smart lighting. With artificial intelligence, what it's doing is really catering and learning to what your preferences are, and then being able to communicate between one another. And that's critical, right? You want to make sure that you have a whole, like essentially a centralized hub that can really make sure that AI is making your home more intelligent.
You know, you mentioned about health, and I've already seen how big a lot of, people are working on services and software on the back end for health to organize the data, to make it palatable, and also, like you said, pull trends and information from almost generating profiles from all the data that it gets, and then offering suggestions of, like you said, whether risk of infection or recovery or things like that. And that I saw multiple companies that are showcasing that, and it's one of those things that I don't think of every day. But this is important in healthcare. They tend to have worked on our older types of systems and modernizing it. This is a big thing, and AI is really helping with that, right?
Exactly, and AI is also not really a new technology, as we were saying, right? It's been around for decades, but it's how do you incorporate it and make it just more intelligent in general. It's not just about electronic healthcare records. We at CES are going to see a living heart, which is a virtualized replication of the human heart that uses AI to create a scenario that you can do cardiological research. So investigating heart disease for researchers from Dassault. You'll even see wearables for health. So there's actually a device that helps with women experiencing menopause. It's an AI wearable bracelet that learns when you're gonna have a hot flash, so it can connect to a cooling pad in your bed to minimize discomfort during sleep, which that also speaks to something happening in healthcare, which is you're breaking down silos of treatment. So it's not just about sleep, it's not just about menopause.
Wow, that is fascinating. A lot of people that are watching this, like you said, AI has been around for not even years, like decades, more than that. Yeah. And when it became a buzzworthy word to the general consumer in news, there were two camps, right? Some people are like really scared about it. Like, what are the implications? There's obviously, it's the intention of how you use it. Some companies like, hey, we're gonna take a slower approach and figure out and take the proper steps along to do this constructively and kind of treat AI, like they said, in an ethical way. And so what would you say to people coming here to CES? Because I feel like at CES, there's a lot of positive benefits of how AI is helping technology companies and consumers. Do you have any thoughts on, is it time to stop saying, don't be scared, or, is there somewhere in the middle?
Well, I think first off, you said it's been around for decades. There's actually an old IBM quote from the 70s, which is, a computer can never be held accountable. And that, in a lot of ways, is really, you can translate that into artificial intelligence, right? It's not necessarily AI is scary, it's the question of how you use that technology. And so as a futurist, I actually work in the CTA's research department. And we actually did a study looking at, for US consumers, what their concerns are around AI. We found, first off, 9 in 10 Americans are familiar with artificial intelligence. So it is really popular now, it's well known, but their 4 concerns really were around job safety, data, security, disinformation. And what it requires is ethical and responsible development. And what I'm really proud of CTA taking a leadership role in is we work with our standards community, we work with policy leaders and our companies and members to really ensure that we're pushing forward regulation that keeps those guardrails in place, but don't hinder innovation. In fact, one of our standards group is a responsible AI working group that brings together these companies, because we have to consider really it's people behind innovation at the end of the day, and making sure that we're doing it in an ethical and responsible way.
You also mentioned about, job security, right? That's one thing that people are, we're first worried about, like, AI is taking our jobs. AI is actually, in a way, to me, the way I see it is, it's enhancing, it's kind of taking care of some of the mundane stuff and allowing us to be more creative, to use our human brain power to come up with other solutions and really work in partnership with AI, just to make society more efficient and better. The other thing that I think about is when you talk about potentially replacing jobs. AI in robotics, right? That specific category, how is that evolving or how is that helping things?
Yeah, of course. And what you're kind of hitting on is actually, it's an old Keynes quote, which is automation is supposed to eliminate drudgery in our lives. And the idea in my mind is it opens up creativity, and AI and robotics will play a role because they've really have become what you would call a digital utility. In the last sort of 15 years, you keep hearing digital transformations happening where you're upgrading to automation, cloud, cybersecurity tools for enterprises. But we're past digital transformation now, especially the pandemic accelerated that, where they're not optional upgrades, they're necessities, because we've seen where you have supply chain issues or you have problems meeting workforce shortages really in tight labor markets. This is where robots almost become cobots, where they're your coworker helping your day-to-day and making it a little bit easier, not displacing it.
I think that's a t-shirt right there. Robot. No, not a robot, but a cobot.
I love it.
Not a robot, cobot. So I don't know if I can do that. But obviously there's gonna be a lot more trends here. We're gonna have you come and talk a little bit more of all the other things that we're expecting to see. And one of the great things about CES is going on the floor, discovering these things for yourself. And also you might, as a person who attends, pull kind of trends from seeing a lot of different industries and the directions that they're going in. And that's what makes it so fascinating to be here, so.
Yeah, I think that's really true. I mean, my job is to understand what trends you're going to see on the show floor, and every year I get surprised by what I see on the show floor. That's the beauty of coming here. It's that serendipity of discovery at CES.
All right, Brian. Well, we will talk to you soon, my friend.
Of course.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This year, we're announcing a new 8th pillar of the Human Security for All campaign. The campaign serves to cultivate collaboration and innovation across all industries and all countries to improve the human experience. Now, you'll see more from the Human Security for All initiative and this first of its kind partnership throughout the event as the show highlights the latest tech innovations promoting the 8 human security pillars: food security, access to healthcare, economic security, environmental protection, personal safety and mobility, community security, political freedom, and now technology. That's right, technology is that new 8th pillar, and as many of you know, it enables positive change that can reach all humanity, and that is why we are here. So here's some highlights from our campaign.
CES is especially important as a platform that introduces technology to transform the world. I mean, really solving human problems.
Tech innovations can protect human securities, or as we actually call them, human rights. Clean air and clean water. Food, the right not to be hungry. Healthcare, community engagement, political involvement. These are things which the United Nations and others have identified as saying these are basic human securities or rights. Technology can play a difference in making that happen.
CES have been absolutely wonderful. They're reflecting their values and their belief that the future is about human security for all. And I think it's something that no other trade body in the world has probably ever done. CES has had the vision to kick off the revolution here that says technology will solve the human security needs of the world.
All right, so we're here at the Venetian at the Intel booth, and this is always one of my favorite places to stop by. So Caitlin, thank you so much for taking the chance to chat with us today. So what do we have going on today?
Well, it's so exciting. We've been really planning this moment for a while. We are really ushering in the era of the AI PC with our new Intel Core Ultra products. You'll see many of them on display here at the event, but that's been the main conversation all week.
And how have you seen the reception so far?
Everybody is quite excited. I mean, to get this much energy into the category, new use cases around the PC, thinking about future and how they can use their devices differently, it's been really exciting.
I love that you talk about new use cases. So what exactly do you mean by that?
Think about, especially if you're a consumer, different ways to do creating videos, photos, things are faster, easier, immensely different than what they were before. And in commercial, there's tons of use cases around productivity, personal assistance. Everyone's quite excited about that. I know we could all use that in our regular lives.
For sure. Can I sign up for a couple of those?
Yes, yes.
Now, obviously, AI is such a buzzword. So how do you see these new processors, because they're so much more efficient, aiding in making AI also as efficient?
Yeah, what's really unique is what we mean when we say AI is there's a built-in part of the chip called an NPU that really processes those AI workloads and makes it really efficient, power efficient, so your battery life doesn't change, and that's what makes it different. So all those new use cases with photos and videos, they just run more efficiently on these new products.
Now, do you see any other applications for the new processor in any other sort of devices for the consumer?
Yeah, there's also our graphics. Integrated graphics is a big part of this use case. So great 2x the graphics performance. So lots of new, performance is a huge part of it. Ultra thin and light, the form factors you'll see are quite amazing. So there's lots of reasons to refresh.
Now, I love that there's so many different stations. So kind of walk me through what each one of these represents.
Yeah, so we have our Core Ultra device wall, which is all these amazing products we just talked about. We also have a gaming station over there, which really showcases our 14th gen gaming processor. So that's our new gaming launch as well. Amazing performance out of gaming and some amazing new products that you'll see over there. And then we also have our Intel Cube, and that is quite exciting. It's an immersive gaming experience where you can walk inside the cube and have a gaming, really, I would say, overall experience to actually play a game within this large digital experience.
And it's really amazing. I actually got a chance to try it. So just being in there, it is so immersive, and it really is showing you the power of Intel.
Wonderful.
So obviously we have a bunch of devices back here behind us. So what do we all have here?
Yeah, we have over 230 designs with our Intel Core Ultra products. So designs from every single OEM across the industry. Everybody's very excited about the AI PC. So Asus, Acer, HP, Dell, Lenovo, there's tons of devices here, Samsung, that we wanted to just showcase. We were time to market with Meteor Lake. We launched in New York in December, and all of these products are available to sell now, to ship now. And that's an important part of what we want you all to know is you can go into your local retailer and buy them today.
Speaking of retailers, so you have this really cool display over here for the gaming setup. Let's go check that out.
Okay.
So this setup looks awesome. Now, this is going to be in some retail stores?
Yeah, this is actually a mock-up of what we have in some of our retail stores where we have a gaming experience, really immersive, so that customers can really interact with the technology.
I mean, if I saw this in a store, you better believe I would be there in a second. And I also see you have one of the new HP Omen computers here too.
We do. We have amazing. So these are all our 14th generation new processors. This is actually our Core i9HX Core 9. And really amazing performance. We have laptops available across all of our OEMs, as I mentioned before. We also launched our desktop products in December. So 14th generation is a great gaming experience, and we're going to really showcase that through all the week.
This is amazing. So make sure you guys look out for this in retail stores near you. Now there's something that, obviously you cannot miss it. It is this massive cube in the center of the room. Can we check this out too?
I think we have to.
All right.
Yes.
This looks amazing. So what exactly is this?
It's really quite amazing. It's a digital experience on the outside. So huge digital screens. We have a lot of innovation and excitement around what's coming in. But what's exciting is what's inside. So this is actually our Intel Arc, and our K-SKU is really powering this generation of an immersive gaming experience. So you can see somebody in there now playing a game, actually really feeling like they're part of that game. So gaming is going to just continue to expand. Our technology is expanding beyond even laptops, desktops. We have this great cube and immersive experience. So it's been a really fun week.
It's amazing. So how do you see these new processors kind of setting you guys apart from the competition?
Well, I think we've really just, the innovation is amazing, and customers love innovation. It's an amazing time to refresh. And I am really excited just about the category itself, PCs in general. With the move of AI, it's going to create a whole new wave of experiences.
So it's pretty impressive because this is powering everything behind us.
It's really quite amazing. So this is our 14th generation Intel Core i9 K-SKU and the Arc A770. It's a limited edition graphics, all running this immersive experience.
It's amazing. And so the most important question of this entire interview, can I go in the cube and play?
I think we should try it.
Okay, let's go. Oh, this is so whoa. Here we go. This is so crazy. Like, it's like a full wraparound experience.
Yes.
This is VR without the headset. Like, we're
there you
actually in it.
You don't need the goggles.
No. All right, here we go. It's wild to think of how far technology has come. Because that little tiny box is powering all of these displays, the graphics. Oh, it's amazing.
It's really amazing. We went to the Sphere last night, so I got a really immersive experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, I've actually never played this game before, so
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
just kind of
You're
figuring it out as we go.
You got this.
But
I have faith in you.
all right, we got it.
It's technology, it's healthcare, it's Moderna. Like here, right here to tell us more is CIO Brad Miller. And Brad, thanks for hanging out and coming out here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You know, Moderna, they may have started off as a medical research company, but it's really transformed into a technology platform. I would arguably say a juggernaut. And back 10 years ago, would you have expected to be a part of this organization today even?
Never. 10 years ago, I was working at Amazon on payments, and today I'm in the healthcare industry. But the patterns apply from how you build great systems. We need to build those great systems at Moderna so that we can deliver the best medicines to our customers.
You know, a lot of people, they come to CES. We know there's these established technology brands that are here that everyone expects to see. But also, this supports companies that are involved in cutting edge technologies. And so I got to imagine a lot of people are watching and are wondering, like, okay, why is Moderna here? What are they bringing to the table from a tech standpoint that they don't know about?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand that we are actually an information-based company to begin with, and we're a digital-first company. When you think about how we're delivering medicines, I don't think there's anything more consumer, customer-focused than a medicine going into somebody's arm. And how, when you look to the future, in personalized medicine, it's going to become even more and more important that we focus on that consumer first. And so we've started off back 10, 12 years ago using AI and using data and using technology and digital capabilities to begin with. And from there, we've just grown.
And for you as the CIO, right, you're keeping on the pulse of what's happening around the technology space. What are maybe you prioritized or focused on to kind of keep this momentum of Moderna and all the different changes that are happening around technology?
Yeah, it's really interesting to be in a role now where I'm providing enablement of technology to enable the business to do good. And so my goal is really to ride the wave of innovation. There's a lot of innovation that's happening out there. If you look just this last year alone with Gen AI, we couldn't just say we're going to be with one partner. We had to figure out how to partner with many different capabilities so that we can ensure we could pivot fearlessly. We're doubling down on multiple options at the same time. And that allows us to have the flexibility to build and understand what's happening in the market and do learning, like test and learn, so that we can bring the best products to market the fastest.
Well, you said, alluded to a little buzzword here in the tech space, AI, generative AI. And we know that this is a big topic, but also, generative AI is another evolution of what has been going on for quite some time. What are some of the advantages that you have learned over time with Moderna that AI has offered you? And you guys are really an early adopter of this, and you've seen it evolve. So what are some of those advantages for you as a company?
Yeah, one of the first things that we did is we didn't run away from Gen AI. Like a lot of companies were shutting down, like, don't go to OpenAI, and we were actually embracing it. So we ran towards it. And what we did is we even built our own, what we call Moderna Chat, MChat. So we built our own internal version of MChat so that we could explore it with our employee base. And what we've seen it transform how people work. And so when you think about the development of drug, whether it be from R&D side of things or clinical development, where we're looking to answer questions and get information back in, very data centric, whether it's manufacturing processes or regulatory or even commercial, all of those benefit from Gen AI in terms of how we've implemented it at Moderna.
Were there, as you talk about adopting it, being very open about it, were there maybe areas where you're like, okay, let's not push 100% in, but kind of navigate it at the same time a little carefully, or you're like, let's just do it, you know?
No, we were very thoughtful of that. You're really changing the mindset. Like early on, people were using Gen AI as a search engine. It's not, it's a conversation engine. And so getting people to think differently. And so we went through the process of transformation of people's mindsets. We started with like, yeah, make it talk like a pirate, right? And then from there, get answers that are really in tune with the work that you're doing. And then from there, we taught them prompt engineering. And then from there, we moved on to like our own specific chatbots for all the different areas, like a legal chat or a healthcare chat, or sorry, a benefits chat for our HR department. And so we've been exploring how we're bringing our people through. To date, over 70% of our population, our workforce, is using MChat internally. So it's been a huge success. And we're seeing hours, not minutes, but hours be removed from the pipeline of how we get a drug from ideation to out the door. When you take all the little pieces and the impact of Gen AI across all that, it adds up significantly in terms of lives saved faster, which is what our goal is.
You know, I had, when you talked about like a pirate chat for Moderna, like, did it say like, Moderna? Did you guys use that internally?
That's exactly, no, we didn't.
You didn't?
But
that's a missed opportunity.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not an AI guy, but I'm a marketing guy. No,
but that is really how we got people excited, to show all the fun side of it.
Yeah.
And then once you have the fun side of it, let's now make it serious and let's have it solve real business problems. And that's where we've seen the growth.
You talk about 70% of your workforce using, you know, the MChat. Are there other ways that AI is being used across your employee force just to get them more comfortable with it or optimize what they're doing?
Yeah, what we learned early on, it was basic chat that's happening. And then the use cases became more and more complicated. And so we had to actually start building engineering software around the idea that a business person is bringing forward. And that's where we came to the notion that there's not just going to be one MChat, there's going to be lots of little chats that are very specific and very ingrained into the user flow of that capability, of that persona, so that they don't have to leave and go to MChat and then come back. And so we're putting it in line and in flow with the work. And that's where it's starting to get really sticky.
I think it's really fascinating because really this is not only is this new technology, but to your point, technology also comes with changing human behavior, right? Yep. It's how we interact, how do we accept, how do we feel comfortable with these things?
Yep.
And that's always been a challenge for technology, period, right?
Yeah. One of the neat things that Moderna has is we have a learning mindset. And so we have what we call an academy. Given we're birthed out of research and we're birthed out of education environment, we have an academy, and one of the academies is the AI Academy. And so we had inside Moderna the foundation to be able to teach our employee base through our AI Academy how to use Gen AI already. So a very, very inquisitive, very curious workforce with a foundation of how to learn. And then you take those two things together and it was blast off for our organization.
That's cool. You know, we're here at CES, the largest tech showcase convention. You know, I call it the tech mecca every year that we all come to. You guys are here with your presence at CES. What do you maybe want people to take away from you being here, and maybe some of the things you are also doing here at CES?
Yeah, thanks. Well, first and foremost, as I said in my opening, like, we are a tech first. We're a tech first company that's solving really important problems at scale for the world, and we do it in a digital way, leveraging data. And so that's at the core of who we are. So that to me makes us fit here at CES. And then you start adding on what I do want everybody to know about, and what our president, Stephen Hogue, will be talking about on Thursday. He'll be talking about individualized cancer vaccine care and individualized vaccines, personalized vaccine, personalized medicine. When you start getting to that level, that is consumer meets medicine in a very unique way that is going to really have an impact on the world, especially when we're doing it the way we are at scale.
You know, as the CIO, I talked about how you have your pulse on a lot of different things. Is there anything in the tech world, any type of technologies or things that are happening that you're really excited to kind of focus in or look towards in the next, I know this is a big 5 to 10 years, but where are you looking at?
Well, it's funny, I didn't know a year ago that I'd have my own version of MChat inside of Moderna, and that's how fast things have been moving. Obviously, continuing doubling down on AI, we believe we should become a real-time AI company, given how pervasive it is used and the leverage we're getting out of it. But we have partnerships with IBM, with quantum computing, that's really helping us solve really hard engineering problems, really hard research problems. But at the end of the day, in the transformation that we're going through at Moderna, nailing the basics and actually engineering operations excellence is really important to how we build. And so foundationally, we've stood up teams that are building net new capabilities like builder tools for software developers and data scientists and hardening our security postures. And so we're building our cloud infrastructure. And so we're building a lot of foundational services that will allow us to scale. We have a goal of having 15 drugs in market within 5 years. And you can't do that if we're going to keep doing things the way we are. So we're really shifting how we enable fast throughput of capability. And we're doing that with technology.
It's all about the foundation, baby.
It's all about the foundation that you build on.
All right, well, thank you so much, Brad. This is great to talk to you.
Really
hey, if you all want to learn more about the power of mRNA, check out modernatx.com.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the LVCC Grand Lobby. Justine and I have been in a real happy place all day, and we're just getting started.
That's right. We've heard from Panasonic, we've seen the latest from Moderna and Intel, and we learned what tech trends will be making headlines for years to come.
But of course, this is only day one. Day two, that starts tomorrow with keynote presentations from Qualcomm, NASDAQ, and Best Buy. And then we'll wrap up today with a conversation that I had with two familiar faces from CTA. So hey, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody, joining me now, two very familiar faces from the Consumer Technology Association, the organization that is responsible for making CES what it is today. Let's say hi to President Gary Shapiro and SVP of CES and Membership,
yes,
Kinsey Fabrizio. The titles can be tricky, guys.
You got them right.
Okay,
you
well,
nailed
welcome,
them.
guys. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're great now that you're here, bringing the show along and making it happen. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I mean, it's an honor to be a part of this. And CES is like, what I always wanted to do, come here when I was a kid, and to be a part of it is amazing.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. So, Gary, I want to start off with you. If you could kind of kick us off with, every year it's exciting, but what has got you most excited about this year's event?
Well, certainly the sheer size. I mean, this has grown so much because the world is focused on innovation. After COVID, CEOs want to be here in person. They want to see customers, potential new customers, partners, get ideas, be inspired, and even have their own employees work together as a team in a booth, which a lot of them don't get to do anymore because so many people are working at home. But what really inspires me is the technology and the innovation throughout the floor. It's a record amount. We have a record amount of innovation entries, like up over 30%. And we have over 4,000 exhibitors in 2.5 million net square feet of exhibit space. But the technology speaks for itself.
It does, it does. And the amount of startups coming. We have a lot of startups coming to Eureka Park this year. We are so excited to welcome them. 1,400 startups. We're really looking forward to seeing what they're going to showcase.
Every year I come to CES, Eureka Park, I think we almost hammer it to people like, go check it out because there's obviously so much to see here. Central Hall, West Hall, North Hall, and then for people that just all the exploration and really where you see innovation, where kind of the seeds of it, a lot of it happens in Eureka Park, and that's why
absolutely,
right, you go from the macro, these large companies, and you go to, we've seen plenty of success stories of companies that started in Eureka Park that have become what they are today, and like brand names. That shows like the magic of what you talk about, the innovation,
absolutely,
and how they grow.
And we have Shark Tank here, looking for candidates. But it's a culture that we've had since I joined decades ago. Is that we have to run CES so that anyone with an idea could expose it for very little money to tens of thousands of journalists like yourself, investors, potential partners, big companies that may want to buy them. And it's working. It's a magic that occurs here, and it's inspirational for people that come.
I like when you say the word magic, because even for people like me that are tech content creators, we have, when you say CES has completely bounced back and continues to grow, everyone I talk to is here at the show, right? And there's an energy that comes with it. You start the year off with tech, and this is like the culture that we live in. Kinsey, I know your team, you lead the team that is really responsible for building out this floor. What about this show is exciting for you, or maybe things to highlight?
There's so many exciting categories to highlight. Mobility in West Hall. I mean, you're going to see land with the phenomenal automotive tech, sea with marine tech, air with flying cars. So make sure you get over there. One of my favorite categories, digital health in the North Hall, healthcare that's more accessible, more personalized, more intelligent. That's going to be very present over in that space. Central Hall, I was walking through it earlier today. It's beautiful. Our exhibitors, the big brands that are always there, Samsung, LG, Panasonic, Bosch, Sony, SK, they are doing some amazing things in Central Hall, and their displays just look wonderful. So those are some key categories that I think are great. What about you?
Yeah, are there any areas like you like to play in over here?
Well, I think digital health is important because it's really solving a fundamental problem that we're experiencing as a world, where we're getting older and there's not as many doctors and nurses and technicians as we want. So smart entrepreneurs and innovators have taken these sensing devices in every smartphone and they spread them out so they can measure all sorts of things, so that you may not have to go back to the hospital. You could do remote telehealth. You could do diagnosis. You could actually soon, especially with artificial intelligence, figure out what actually works for your specific body with your genetics and everything you eat and where you live and what your symptoms are. And we're gonna solve a lot of the healthcare problem using technology that you see at CES.
You're so right. And then speaking of being healthy, we all need to eat. Food tech is really exciting at CES this year. There was an awesome ice cream machine.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, cold. I think it's cold spot. Yes,
cold snap.
So cool. And then there's going to be a robotic restaurant in the Venetian, and so that is just something that I think is very, very cool. Yeah, Yokai. Yokai has
I'll definitely have to check that out. You know, we're going to touch on AI in a moment, but last year here at CES, you launched a partnership with the UN to really highlight technologies and that are improving the world. And this year, human security, this is back on the agenda. So why is it important to have that partnership as kind of the backdrop that's part of the CES experience?
Well, the United Nations partnership was the first a year ago, and they said, here's some really important human securities: the right not to be hungry, food, the right to health care, the right to have clean air and clean water under the whole sustainability banner, the right to community, political involvement. And we took those and we ran with it, and it was phenomenally successful. And in fact, just a couple months ago, Kinsey and I were in New York at the opening of the UN General Assembly, and we announced with the UN there would be one more human security, and that is the right to technology. It's phenomenal. Corey Barry, CEO of Best Buy, has been talking about it. This is something where technology is solving these problems, but the technology is what we have to get in people's hands so they can have healthy lives, improve them. And a lot of the solutions you see on the show floor are the fundamental problems involving agriculture, involving growing things near your home, cutting down on fuel usage, energy efficiency. These are important things for everyone. And so we're really happy to have this partnership.
All right, well, I did mention AI. I mean, I feel like it's been a buzzword in tech. I don't know how many people are Google searching it, but I'm sure it's a lot. Also, generative AI. These are huge topics year after year, but how are you all expecting to see that technology here at CES? I feel like AI moves in different directions every year, but what about here at CES this year?
Well, we're seeing it transform every vertical of technology on the show floor. Most of our exhibitors are going to be showcasing either their AI solution or how AI is transforming what it is that they deliver. And so you're going to see it in healthcare, you'll see it in mobility, you'll see it in smart home technology and enterprise technology and B2B solutions. It's just phenomenal to see the change from CES 2023 to CES 2024 and how it's advanced.
Well, what's changed in the last year, generative AI came on. AI has been around for a while. It flies our commercial planes. It powers our smart speakers. It does so many different things for us already. But generative AI, that takes it a whole new step. It learns. It actually responds to things that have happened in the past. And that will be as transformational, as far as I'm concerned, as the internet itself. So we're just beginning, and the different implementations around the floor are going to be phenomenal.
Amazing. And it's also going to be a theme in a lot of our conference sessions. Our speakers will be talking about AI, a lot of our keynoters. By the way, we forgot to mention this. We have a phenomenal keynote lineup this year, and we know that companies like Qualcomm and Intel and Siemens will be talking about AI as part of their keynotes. HD Hyundai, Walmart, so many. I know, all of them. L'Oreal, Corey Barry of Best Buy. We're just, Adina Freeman of NASDAQ. We are so lucky to have so many wonderful keynoters, and Gail Boudreau at Elevance Health. So a lot of awesome topics to be covered by those CEOs.
I mean, a lot of people tune in and watch those keynotes. I mean, they are definitely a highlight of the show. Another thing, just with the greater tech community as a whole, there are challenges that faced a lot of companies this past year, but at the same time, I come here to CES and you hear all the numbers. CES is still growing, right? What have you been hearing from your exhibitors about being here this year? And we refer to that energy, but what have you heard from them?
They are excited to be in person. They want to get business done here. We know that the average CES attendee has 29 meetings, which is so efficient while you're here for 4 days. So we're seeing energy, we're seeing excitement. They're happy to do business. They're happy to showcase their products and technologies, and they're happy to reconnect with other people from across the world. You know, a third of our attendees come from outside of the United States. So they're really looking forward to the global nature of the show as well.
Yeah, CES is just a source of inspiration and optimism and hope for a better future. And I think people like having it at the beginning of the year. It sets the goals. But they are inspired to create new businesses and have new opportunities. And because innovation now requires actually that you go outside your own industry and comfort zone, you have to cross-license. No one company can do everything themselves. And that's why every technology company is here. They may not be exhibiting, but I promise you, they're in Las Vegas, they're walking the show, they're speaking at conferences, they're behind closed doors, even in the conference area, they are here.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, you know, those are experienced companies that have been here. This is my 15th year at CES.
God, you must be like, look, 18 years old. That's amazing.
I did come here when I was 3 years old. I learned a lot.
I mean, seriously, I agree with Garrett.
But for people that are newbies here, right, that have never attended CES, I always look at their eyes. I'm like, oh, you're in for something, because I don't think they know until they see that first, you know, those first doors open, they come through. But what would you say to people, or maybe what would you recommend for first timers coming to CES?
Use the app and think about where you're going to be, and try to spend like a day in each place, and then you'll see the most without spending time on the road.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Great tips, yeah.
For you, right, he's talking about kind of the essentials, but let's say someone navigating the show floor. You prefer to kind of go into different parties today, but what would you tell to someone who's here for the first time?
For the first time, you know, Gary's advice, I think try to go day by day and definitely use the app. Figure out what types of products and companies you want to check out and you want to meet with, and use the app to plan accordingly, because it's a great resource. It's easy to use. It's free to download, so do it.
Or if you just don't want to plan it all and just figure it out on your own,
you could just walk around.
You know, the true
serendipity. You know, serendipity is part of it. You got to get to Eureka Park. That's the other one.
Oh my gosh.
You have to allow yourself to experience and meet new people. You have to get over natural shyness and talk to people, whether it's waiting on a line or sitting on a bus or doing something. You have to do it, and that just makes you a better person, and that's how business deals are formed. You know, Steve Case formed AOL here. There's so many business. Bill Gates loved Microsoft. He said was helped built as a big company to compete with the others because they're able to exhibit in CES and other events. And some of these small shows in Eureka Park, I mean, you not only see them on Shark Tank, you see them on the big floor now, because that's how it starts. And our job is to be as efficient as possible for meeting people, so innovation can flourish and the world can be better.
I could not have said it any better, Gary. That was very smooth. So thanks again for your time, and we'll see you on the show floor. Have a great CES.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Say bye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye.